If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Welcome, everyone, wherever you are in the world, morning, evening, afternoon, or in the replay. I'm so glad you are here with me tonight. Tonight I have a very special show because, we all have some shit in our lives. So tonight we're going to be talking about why do I still feel like shit after all these years. And I have an amazing being that is going to be co-hosting with me tonight, Miss Rhonda Burns. Rhonda, please give a shout out.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
I think we might be going into voices tonight, so just stay tuned.
It feels fun. Sure does.
It sure does. Ron and I have a lot to say. We're going to be talking fast, so hold on to your hat because we've been really, I think we've been experiencing this show for some time, but definitely in the last week, which has been very interesting. So before we get into the show, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, and then Rhonda's going to do the same. So I am a possibilities coach, and I work with individuals and organizations to co-create all the possibilities available in the universe that they desire. I am an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, a energy healer, a radio show host, producer, and the owner of A2Zen. How does it get any better than that? I also work with organizations and individuals to create their businesses. I love doing many, many different things. It gives me a lot of joy. So if there is something you're desiring more of in your life, please connect with me. I would love to speak with you. The first 5 minutes are always free, and I can talk fast. So what else is possible? Give me a call or email me. You can connect with me through my website at inspiredchoices.ca. And that's me. And over to you, my friend.
My cohort and crime rock star friend. Thank you. And I am Rhonda Burns, a definitely different potency expert. I call myself a kick-ass global transformation coach because that's what I am.
Hell yes.
And I also am a very tenacious chooser and a status quo disruptor. And I like to facilitate my clients to rock change like a boss. That's it in a nutshell. I do a lot of other stuff. And if you would like to know more, and you can find me at www.rhonda, RHONDA, hyphen or dash, whatever you want to call it, burns.com. And I'm also on social media. So there you have it.
Hey, I just thought about something really brilliant. So you burn people if they don't step up, right?
That's not quite the invitation I was going for. So scratch that, back that bus up, something.
How much are we all burning ourselves in all of our choices, right? And all of our crazy creations.
I'd like to think, I burn it up, I get it hot, I get it fired up. Yeah.
You be hot, that be true. So tonight, have you been doing everything you can to change your life and you feel like you're getting nowhere? Do you actually acknowledge how much change you've chosen or just continue to look at where things haven't? Are your new spaces not comfortable and therefore you buy that you haven't done enough? I get a hell yes, yes, and you damn straight yes. I'm going Southern tonight for some reason. I don't know what that is.
You talk to me and you do go Southern. Is it just because I'm in Texas or what? She goes all cowgirl on me.
I'm a Canadian girl with an Irish accent, and sometimes I go Southern, so you just never know.
Yeah, you just like boots and spurs, that's all.
Tell the truth. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's get serious. Okay, come on.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to get serious. Radio theater. So, first of all, before we dive right deep into this, if you're not connected with us in the chat room on A2Zen.fm, please come and play. Honestly, we love the contributions that all of our listeners who are participating there, what they bring. And you really do create the shows with all of our hosts, including myself. I can't say enough how much that the listeners and the participants in the chat room really add to. It's like a live class that you're involved in, and you get to co-create whatever's asking to be said. And for me as a radio host, lots of times I don't know what I'm going to talk about, what my show is going to be, and I'll just get an idea. Like I'll just hear something, I'll hear a sentence, and it'll pop, and I won't know, quote unquote, what we're going to talk about, and then I'll get a few sentences like what I just read to you. And then it's really, really interesting because it starts to unfold the week before, and Rhonda and I are going to talk about that, and everyone's participating in the chat room. Actually, there's something that rings for them. They start to create it with us, and so I just want to acknowledge all of the people in the chat room who come and play, or people who follow up after they've listened to the replay. You really, please know you're a huge contribution to my shows and all of the other shows. So thank you so much.
You know what? Yes, totally. And just what popped, Christine, is they're the brave ones. They're like the ones who are willing to come backstage to see, like, I think it takes a level of courage and a level of curiosity to come backstage.
You know what? You're right.
I wonder.
I'm willing to change my shit, and I hope that the listeners are too. So come play with us, please. Yeah. And if you're listening in the replay, do not hesitate to email either myself or Rhonda, because we would love to be a contribution, and we would love to hear your awarenesses. So anyway, so let's back this up. So I have been, what was it? Was it last week that Dr. Wayne Dyer passed away?
Yes, August 30th.
Thank you. So August 30th, Dr. Wayne Dyer passed away, and it really had me pause because, truthfully, Dr. Wayne Dyer, in my cognitive knowledge, was the first person who had me really look at the seeker that I am. And there was something that he would say, and it pulled me in. And when he passed away, I stopped and I reflected on, wow, like how long has it really been? How long have I been in this quote unquote active seeking and desiring to be more of me, to change it? And then I went, wow, I've been doing this shit a long time, and how come I still have so much shit I'm going on?
Right?
So you could feel me go up the mountain and then fall friggin' down the mountain. Yeah, that happens quite quickly.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Yeah, you too? Does that happen for you?
No, never. Nope.
Okay, if you're not sure on sarcasm, that was sarcasm. And how much, Rhonda, the more that we become aware, the more that we step into the seeking, the curiosity, how much more does that actually happen? That we get this surge of yummy awareness, and then we drop.
Yeah, this is a really big one, and I know we've talked about it offline, and I had this really cool revelation, and maybe it's not new to anybody else, or maybe it makes no sense to anybody else. I don't really care, because this is where I was at. But I had the awareness that, okay, so as we expand into our awareness, and we really open up to so much greater, where we may have had blinders on before, we may have been completely shut off, we may not know that we're infinite beings and so forth. My awareness in that moment was that, okay, shit, all of this stuff that I'm now aware of has actually always been there, but I was just completely closed off to it.
Yeah.
And so as we ask for more awareness and we seek more consciousness and we desire to expand it, we're just becoming more aware of all the minutia and the garbage and the greatness and, everything else that's always there. We're just asking to be more aware, and we're actually getting the awareness. So in that, we also get a lot of the stuff that comes with that, the intensity, perhaps pain, perhaps, feelings and lower vibrational stuff that doesn't feel so great, and so on and so on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I just went to a moment where I can remember when I was really actively, it was probably a couple of years after stepping in with like the Wayne Dyer incident where I started to really look at this actively. I can remember sitting there with one person that was a mentor to me, and I remember looking at her like, shit. I said, could I unknow some of this stuff, please?
Yeah.
How many people, honestly, when they get awarenesses of maybe about the craziness they've created in their life or what's really required for them to step up and create what it is that they desire, how many of us have said, oh, God, I really don't want to do this?
Yeah. It can be overwhelming. It really can.
It can be. And for everyone that's going into a beyond right now, because I can feel some massive heaviness, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that, return to sender, throw that shit out the door with total ease, right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all night, shorts, boys, and beyond. So most likely you've heard that before. If not, that's called the clearing statement, and that is a really magic tool that Access Consciousness has created and that many of us utilize in order to change something that's not working for us. So you can go to theclearingstatement.com to learn more about if that is something
wild
that you
and
like.
Wacky, weird, and it works.
And it works, and that's all that matters,
That's
sister.
all that matters. It works.
Yeah. So for me, it's interesting because we can go into so much self-judgment, right? And I really should have a gold medal in self-judgment because I have done it so brilliantly.
You like mine? I have one.
You
may have mine if you like it.
No, keep your damn gold medal. I don't want
fine.
I don't want a used gold medal.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd let you know.
Thanks. You know what? The self-judgment, when I started to get these awarenesses around what I desired to change and how it felt like a large mountain, I went into self-judgment, which pulled me back down into it even deeper.
Mhm.
Do you have that happen?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm in a lot of people's universes at the moment. I'm like,
I could
wow,
feel that.
There's a lot of information. I'm like, what wants to be looked at first? So, I don't know that I can actually answer that right now.
Okay, cool. So you just be over there, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, what I'm getting. Yeah. Go ahead. I was just
going
to say, I'm getting to this buffet. Like, it's like people are like, then why would I want to be aware? Why do I want to keep going? Why would I want to? Yeah. And it's like,
why the hell should I bother?
Why the hell should I bother? Why have I done all this work if I still feel, and maybe it's not the same feeling bad or feeling shitty. Maybe it's a different level.
I got an example. I got a really good example, and I was kind of saying it to you today. So, about what year was it? It was in 2002. I was in a really bad car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And no, 2002. That's wrong. Puck and paw that. 1992. I was in a really bad car accident, and I had severe whiplash. So they gave me a collar and they gave me pills, which basically numbed everything, right? And I could get along okay. I still had a job. I still was, in relationship. I was still taking care of my son. I was still functioning, okay?
Right.
And I really thought that I was doing okay. Then about 6 months after the accident, I thought, should I not be maybe, doing physiotherapy or something? Like, it just seems like that's what you should do. So the doctor said, well, if you wanna, which he was a dink. Yes, I said the word dink.
I like that word.
So I went to, I eventually went to physiotherapy and then went to the chiropractor. Now, when I started to do these physical things and I started to step into changing what I thought probably needed to change, I didn't have a total awareness of it, how bad it was yet, right?
Right.
It was really fucking painful. There were times I was in tears. I was having to initially go 3 times a week to different appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there was a knowing in me that I needed to continue to go. So if something is painful, if something's sticking you, if something is making you uncomfortable, you might want to keep looking at it.
Yeah.
Right? So as I continued to do this, and I started to, I really started to get, wow, I wasn't really functioning that great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And then when go ahead.
Go. No, I need to sneeze. I'm going to mute. Go.
Okay. So then God bless you. And then when I really was getting much more ease with my body, much more awareness, I started to get into communion more with my body. But I didn't know how much I was affected. I didn't know how much crap I was holding onto in my body until I started to walk into what was uncomfortable. And I get now that this is the same thing with our awareness. A lot of the times it's so damn uncomfortable that we don't want to look at it, and yet we have this niggling. We have this knowing that there is something not right, that there is something else. If you keep looking at something, if it keeps popping in your universe, you might want to ask questions about it, and you might want to start looking at that. We truthfully have so many choices in the world, and when we're putting blinders on to what is uncomfortable, we keep holding on to the shit.
Absolutely. And it won't go away. It will only get bigger. It will get louder. It will get more intense. And what I know for myself and working with my clients is that it's when it's coming up and it continues to escalate, it's because that individual, that being, is actually primed and ready and in a place to be able to shift it, change it, transform it, eliminate it, eradicate it, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Right?
So if you are listening to this show and you have chosen, a millimeter of change or 100,000 miles of change, wherever you are on that choice plate, why did I say plate? I have no idea. Continuum, please know that you get to choose how much, and there's a reason you're here. So we are going to go for a quick break. When we get back, we're going to continue talking about why am I still in all this shit after all these years. You are listening to Rhonda Burns and Christine McIver on Inspired Choices radio show on A2Zen.fm. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey, welcome back. It's Rhonda here with my cohort in crime on her radio show, Inspired Choices, Christine McIver. We're playing. We're having some fun. We're talking about why do I still feel like shit after all these years, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
That is what we're talking about. So glad you got the memo there, sister.
Yeah, okay. Well, the way the day's been going, you just wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, so let's talk about the week and the day and whatever else.
Totally. Like, how much and Christine, you mentioned at the beginning, and as I mentioned to you earlier, it seems like you do actually live out your shows a week in advance and like leading up to the day of. And it's like, boom, okay. So it's really fun and cool, and I think it's hysterical. And what I would like for people to know, gosh, if there was one thing I would like for people listening to know, that if you have been a seeker, you are a seeker, you are desiring greater for your life and living, you are desiring to expand your consciousness and so on and so forth, I would like to let you know that the uncomfortable, what feels like shit for a lot of days, or you make all this progress and then you feel like you hit a brick wall, whatever you want to label it, whatever it looks like, I want you to know more than anything else that is exactly what we're all going through. And those are growth spaces. Those are places for us to gain clarity, to clear more stuff that isn't ours or that we don't want or need to hold on to anymore, but it's actually part of the process. And what I know for myself is that the more tenacious I get and diligent I get in continuing to move ahead, to not stop, to never give up, to never quit, the easier it gets to move through those spaces, the faster I move through those spaces, the toolbox I use gets richer, and I can utilize what I have to my advantage. And as long as we're not judging the space we're in or what we're looking at or up against, that's the key. Don't judge it. Don't label it. Don't make a decision or a conclusion about it. Just be willing to embrace it with allowance and literally look at it like you would a brand new something you found, let's say, in the sand at the beach, like, ooh, what is that?
Right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the curiosity. Well, today I was, there's been a lot of intensity around a lot of things, and working with you and working with so many of the amazing people in my life, in Access, and I just got back from certified facilitators, my willingness to look at everything when it's happening has gotten greater, and I'm so grateful for that. But today there was a lot of intensity, as I said, and there was one moment that I'm just like, okay, I just need to walk away from everything. I just need to get some space. Like, how many of us just stay in our shit, stay in the uncomfortableness, and we don't actually take like a second to breathe and get some space?
Right.
So I went outside. I was sitting on my front porch, and there's a beautiful breeze. The temperature is just gorgeous. It's beginning to be fall here in Canada, and the breeze was just lovely. And I just kind of turned around and I looked at my windows. They were really dirty. And I'm like, huh. And my body was like, could we please move? Like, basically, clean the windows. It's like my body wanted me to stretch and so on. So it's like, clean the windows. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm cleaning the windows. And as I'm cleaning the windows, I'm like, huh. Oh, my gosh, clarity. As I started to see through the window, it was connecting with what was going on with me all week. And it was around desiring clarity and making a choice. So I actually quickly did a Periscope, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a live interactive video through, it's an app through Twitter. And I was just saying, you know what? When we're willing to, when we desire to get clarity, oftentimes what's required is to make another choice. Yeah. Because if you're not choosing something new, how are you going to change any of your shit?
Exactly.
And so it was just in that little thing. It's like, okay, I'm choosing to continually look at my shit. I'm so willing, and you have been such a huge contribution with me, Rhonda, for changing this. I'm so willing to look and be vulnerable with all of my shit. Mm-hmm. I don't even care. I don't even care anymore because I'm having my life of joy. That's my target. Nice. A life of joy, period.
Hey, I wonder if anybody else might like some of that. That's a pretty cool target.
No, only me.
Oh, are you the only one? Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Right?
Totally. And you know what? And again, I don't know how this is going to sound as it comes out, because the way I formulate questions is I get all these awarenesses of energies, and then I interpret them, and they come in words. And so I keep hearing the word muscle. And so I was looking at, so yes, this is a muscle that we develop, And if you wanted more of an analogy or an example, it would be like if you were working out in the gym. Let's say you were a weightlifter, or you just liked moving your body in the gym to different weights. You go through it, and the first time you go in, right, it's pretty, your muscles, probably you're going to feel them. They might scream at you because they haven't been used that way before. And so then you go and you get really accustomed and acclimated to that level of movement and exercise. And then guess what? You take it up another notch, right? And you get to a plateau, so you take it to a different space. You do different movements. Guess what? Those muscles are going to be stretched again. They're going to be utilized in a different way. You're going to hear them screaming again. Mm-hmm. And so it's like that with, this expansion of your awareness and consciousness. Like it's a new muscle at one space, and then you work through it and you do what you need to do, and then things kind of even out, and then you're like, okay, I'm bored with that. It's time to move on to, something greater. And so again, it's all these growth spaces. So it's developing those muscles in each of those spaces, I guess. And
I read something, totally. I read something or I heard something, like it's something that Gary Douglas said. I'm sorry, I can't tell you where I got it from, but I know I read it in the last couple of days or heard it in my head from him. If you're a seeker, and if you're somebody who's creative and you're always looking for more, I want you to know that you're always going to be desiring more.
Yeah.
It's not a wrongness. And if you can just look at it like it's an ism, it is what it is, then you won't go into, God, is this shit never going to end? No, right. But your way of being with your shit may change. So now, just like you said, Rhonda, it's, can we look at our shit with curiosity? Can you imagine you're a little child and you walk up to the toilet, right? You can barely see over and you're like, what's that, Mommy? What's that? What if we did that with all of our shit, whether it's in the toilet or not?
I like it when it swirls around. When it goes really fast. I used to. I was fascinated with the toilet, actually, when I was a kid.
And you're the only one.
I know, right? Humanoid, hello.
But how much faster would we actually, how is it going to be possible to be the second break? Oh, my gosh. How much faster are you desiring to move through this?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to play with curiosity about it with no point of view of how stupid it sounds, how ridiculous it seems, any of that? Would you be willing to seriously just be curious with it?
Absolutely. And I'm like, hand up, pick me.
She's fast breathing.
Well, some great questions. And again, these are basic tools from Access Consciousness. And for those of you who've been doing Access a long time, or those of you who've never used it, and I know when we do a lot of Access, we tend to forget the basics, or we don't use the basics. Yes. So great questions in those spaces like, awesome, what is right about this that I'm not getting? What is right about me in this that I'm not getting? And how do I use this to my advantage? Are some of my favorite questions to play with when I'm in the weeds, if you will.
Yeah, and one of my most favorite things to remind myself over and over again, I remind clients, I remind you, I remind so many people is anything that is heavy is a lie.
Yep.
Anything. It's a lie because you are an infinite being, and would an infinite being truly choose to have something heavy or some shit?
Yeah.
No. You came here to have fun. You came here to create. You came here to play. You came here to change the world. You do not have to get up on the cross and suffer. One person did that. It's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he got down off it and said, get on with it already.
Absolutely. Hey, there is a fantastic question in the chat room that I would love for us to talk about, probably after the break. Did you see it?
Yes. Yeah. No, okay. I can't even read it right now. It's so funny.
Cool. Patrina says, sometimes I get really tired of looking at my shit, though. Is that avoidance or choosing or something else? It's a great question.
It is a great question. Okay, let's go to our break. Perfect. And when we come back, we're going to jump right into that. Thank you, Patrina. You're going right in the direction of where we were desiring to go for sure. So you are listening to Rhonda Burns and Christine McIver on Inspired Choices Radio Show on A to Zen.fm, and we will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
Managing your emotions is often seen as a hard thing to do. But what if that was a contribution in order to fully awaken who you really are? If you're not achieving your dreams in any area of your life, it's because you are not connecting with the emotions behind those dreams. Not because you can't, but because you haven't been taught how to. To learn how to change all of this, contact the emotional intelligence strategist, Joanne Delcore. Joanne can be found at www.joannedelcore.com or email joanne@joannedelcore.com. Working with Joanne, you'll receive tools and information that will bring you to a place of true, sustained emotional health and happiness for you, your kids, and your family.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. You are with Rhonda Burns and Christine McIver tonight on Inspired Choices Radio. And tonight we are talking about why do I still have all this shit after all these years? Something that one of the listeners in the chat room is saying, I'm moving through a lot of shit right now. And that just sparked a thought in my mind. Please know that if you are moving through something or if you have a lot of shit coming up, it's a really great sign that you're ready to change it. So even though it may be incredibly difficult in these 5 seconds, could you just go yay for just a little bit because you're ready to make the change that you've been asking for?
Totally. And you know what's been really fun, Christine, and I would invite that person and anybody else, if you don't already have a buddy, an accountability partner, a mentor, a peer, a friend who has totally got your back, get one. You want to talk about being able to move through stuff at warp speed. Would you not agree, Christine? Like when you and I are up, we like blast through it and then we're laughing in no time and then an hour and a half has gone by and we're like, holy crap, like we've just changed light years of things.
Yeah.
So
and
that would be a great thing to choose.
Sorry, something you said on your show this morning. Rhonda has her own show on A2Zen.fm called Potency is my game. Sorry, I just I got potency bitch in my head. That's what just jumped in. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
There's a little bit of that, yeah. But there was something that you said this morning about when you and I were Skyping when you were in Toronto. Oh, Toronto. Oh, my God. In New York. Yeah. Thank you. And how I was just holding the space. Yep. So if you have someone that's willing to just be there, knowing, I know Rhonda is choosing all of her change. I know Rhonda's choosing to look at her shit, even if she's bawling her head off. I know that she wouldn't be creating it in these 10 seconds if she wasn't willing to change it. So I have this knowing she's an infinite being. She's going to be fine, and I just hold the space. Holding the space is just being there without a point of view. Like she has to get it, or my God, I'm so worried about her. Worry is bullshit. It is total and absolute bullshit. It's nearly like a trick that is played on us that, oh my God, the other person's going to die. It's like I hear a lot of people talk about their kids. Oh my God, I have to make sure they're okay, and I'm like, you know what? Seriously? They're way more confident and competent than you've probably been giving them credit for.
Yeah, and how much of that shit do we project on them and expect, and we put that into their universes, and it wasn't even there to begin with. Like, cut that shit out.
Cut that shit out. Exactly. Okay.
Hey, can we go back to the question before the break about being tired of looking at your shit, and is it avoidance or is it choosing? You know, there's some yummy, amazing stuff. And I think the first thing that popped for me in that is like, you know what? Sometimes you don't want to freaking look at it. And guess what? That's okay. Mm-hmm. And what I know for myself is when I don't want to look at it in that moment, I don't, and it doesn't actually go away. So I just have to get to the space of being okay with whatever it is, and when I am actually ready to look at it, I will look at it, and when I'm ready to change it, I will actually change it, not a second before. That's called allowance.
Yes, allowance. And you know what? So many of us, well, 99.9% of us are so self-absorbed. We've got our blinders on to what's going on with other people because we're so much in our own stuff that we often don't see that there's billions and billions of people in the world that are kind of doing the same thing we're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you get that, you know 10 people that are going through stuff and they're looking at their shit, you don't make yours as significant. I know that when I first started to look at my shit, I'd be like, oh my God, if people knew this about me, oh my God, they would just, I hate myself, you know? And it's like, wait a second, I'm choosing not to make this significant. I am choosing to look at it. I'm making the demand to change any of it. But if I'm not making it significant, I can get past it even faster.
Yeah. Yeah, because making anything significant really does slow it down, makes it heavy, makes it like a big old boulder that you're, tugging behind you. It's dumb. Don't do it.
Stop.
Just don't do it. It's dumb.
Step back. Don't be touching that. No. Well, you know what? What I get a lot of the times, Rhonda, is when we're making something significant, it's like we immediately put blinders on to a lot of the awareness we could be receiving.
Oh, absolutely. And a great question in that space is like, if it is pretty thick or it's heavy or it's challenging, wow, I wonder what it would take for this to be ease. Huh? That's kind of a novel question, huh?
Yeah,
asking for what you like.
I think I hear you ask that a lot, actually.
I am all about speed and ease. I am loving it when it's fast.
Did you say? Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but I know you just read it out of my mind. So, what is stopping you, the listener? What is stopping you from having more of what you desire? Where have you bought that there's anything able to stop you from having what you desire? Oh, and all of a sudden I heard the yeah buts, and everybody said, yeah, but, I don't have the money. Yeah, but he doesn't love me. Yeah, but
I don't have the right body. Yeah, but.
Yeah, okay, so can we just please blow up all the yeah buts?
Yeah, but do.
Yeah, do. Yeah, those are lies. Those are lies. You have the power to change anything in your life, and it takes one step. Making a choice. You don't have to take a big step, just one step. Like that day that I took the step to sit still and listen to the crazy man on TV, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I'm like, what is this dude talking about? I took a step to stop and listen. Would you be willing to stop and listen to what is knocking on your door in your life? In your body, in your mind? Would you be willing to allow yourself to be with that just for 5 minutes?
Everything that doesn't allow that, can we just run and include it all, please?
Yes.
And for Godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POC mod, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what is it, Rhonda, that we can give our listeners tonight about their shit and about the years of work that they've been doing?
That they're awesome. Yeah, I am pretty damn clear that those of us who are choosing to create from the kingdom of we, which is inclusive of ourselves and everyone, those of us that are choosing, that came here to be leaders, to create a different reality here, to create different possibilities on this planet, I do believe that the mass majority of those are creating the change so that everybody else can choose to be aware of waking up, of choosing to step up, of, creating their lives, letting them know that that's even a possibility. Mm-hmm. So what I know about that, and potency being my favorite thing, one of my favorite things, we are equipped for it. We have everything within our capacities, everything with our being, our body, everything about us is fully equipped to handle it. And the amount of power and potency within that knowing for myself, when I get in my shit and I think I cannot go another step, I cannot say another sentence, I cannot breathe another breath, I remind myself, oh, I chose this because mm-hmm. I knew I was here to do this. I've got this. And something in that sparks within me, and I just find it within myself, within the source that's within me that I am, and it changes the energy in an instant.
And thank you. I totally agree with what you're saying. And what popped in when you first started talking about this is, if you are someone that is at home and you may work in a job, you don't consider yourself a leader, maybe you work in a factory, or maybe you are at home raising babies, or maybe you're somebody who cleans a house, or it doesn't matter what it is that you do. Any small change that you choose, please know that that impacts people in your life. The small changes that each of us make, that's what Rhonda's talking about being a leader. A leader does not necessarily need to run for government. A leader is somebody in their own life who is choosing to be greater today than they were yesterday. I can remember listening, Rhonda, to people on TV or people on the radio and thinking, oh, yeah, that's great for them, but right. not me. I'm just little old me, right? Mm-hmm. And here I am on the radio today, and it just flashed when you said that. It's like, you know what? It was my tenacious, hard-headed Irish temper that had me say, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. It changes. And I was just changing it one step at a time in my own life. And Absolutely. I know that I make an impact in people's lives, whether I'm on the radio or not.
Yeah.
So please, everyone listening, please know your choices do contribute greater to the world.
Oh, heavens, yes. If you would have told me, God, when did I get divorced? 2008. So I was looking at it at 2007. If you would have told me that choosing to leave my marriage, shake up my family, sell my belongings, move across country, and on and on and on would have me in the space I'm in today, I would have told you there's no freaking way. It's just not possible. And yet there was this intensity within me saying, there has got to be more than this. And if I have to keep going in this way, at this pace, in this space, I will not be here. And so I had to choose. It was just, it's wired within me. And, mm-hmm. and mine looks different from yours, and everybody's looks different. And yet there are these little niggles and these little voices and these little whispers within us that they do get louder. They really, really do as we get older. I'm very clear on that.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're an adult, if you're more than 20 years of age, please know you've got a lot of shit that you've picked up along your trails. Oh, and you've bought into a lot of bullshit, and you've probably judged the hell out of yourself in many, many ways. And if you're just beginning to look at your shit, or you've been at it for 10 or 20 years, you're probably just starting to get through it. Because it's amazing, like, even as a small child, you know, how as soon as we come into the world, people start projecting shit at us, and we start taking it on as truth. And it's not true. You know, like, oh, you know, you're not tall enough, or you're not this, you're not that. I can remember, where was I? I was with a friend the other day, and they said, oh, can you not be in the sun very much? Because I got very fair Irish skin, right? And I said, no, you know, I have fair Irish skin, and I can be in for a little while, and then, you know, and he said to me, oh, that's too bad. I'm just like, years ago, I would have went into the wrongness. There's something wrong with me. Oh, I'm ugly. Look at my skin color. You know, I can't tan. I should just tough it out, and I should just, you know, go through the burn, because everybody says once you burn, you'll turn to a tan. And it's like, mm-hmm. That's bullshit. Do you know how many times I hurt myself by trying to fit into anybody else's point of view? Oh. Just around that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the really unfortunate thing is people have no idea the words and the energies that they are letting come out of their mouths or out of their heads or out of their bodies. They have no clue what the impact of that is. And if we're not prepared and equipped what to do with that, imagine how much does get locked in our bodies and we get trapped with because we think, oh, well, okay, that's a wrongness. Cool. I should make myself wrong.
Yeah. And truthfully, if you begin to step back and really listen with the ear of curiosity of how people talk, you will begin to hear so much projection and so much judgment being thrown at each other in this reality, it will make your head spin. Like, it just cracks me up now that I was so in it and I wasn't cognitively aware of it. And, I was just like swimming in it, continuously swimming in it, because there was so much of it around me. And it's no wonder that there was a lot of shit that I had to move through.
Absolutely. That's what I call surfing the status quo. You are in it. You have no idea. It's just your reality. And so it's not until you come out of it that you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the car accident. I had no idea how bad my neck or my back were until I got the mobility back again. And I returned to my natural state of ease with my body. So we're going to go for our last quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap this up with Rhonda Burns and Christine McIver. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey, we're back. Welcome to Inspired Choices Radio. I'm your co-host tonight, Rhonda Burns, with my fabulous friend, Christine McIver. So, funny thing, I was just whispering to Christine, I have a sense, because guess what? I'm an energy reader and interpreter. There's a whole lot of checkout going on right now. And I was just looking at that, and I was actually kind of talking to the molecules and wondering, I wonder what that is. And I would like, and this may sound crazy to some of y'all, but I would like to ask you, if you find yourself checking out around this topic, or if you find yourself not wanting to look at your stuff, avoiding it, as somebody mentioned earlier, not choosing to look at it, you might ask, is there something else in play here that's prohibiting me or keeping me from looking at this? And just check in as to whether it is light or if it is heavy. And if it is light, that means that there is a truth there, and there may be something else in play.
And if Rhonda and I are annoying the fuck out of you guys right now, I want you to know there's probably something in here for you. Yeah. I have no point of view if you guys choose it, but I do know that whenever something is, like poking me, there is often something in there for me to be able to get more of me from when I look at it.
Yes. Yes. And what would it take for us to look at it from a space of total allowance with no point of view about what it is, what it's going to be, what it's going to look like, but literally like that toy, or picking up, like being a kid walking into a nursery and seeing 5,000 toys and literally walking up to, I don't care which one, picking it up and going, ooh, what does this one do? How does this one work?
Mm-hmm.
Pure curiosity.
Yeah. Okay, so we've only got a few minutes left of the show, and I would like to invite people in to talk to someone that is going to really contribute to changing your shit. So if you would like to connect with Rhonda Burns, you can do so at rhonda-burns.com. Rhonda is an amazing, potent ass kicker of change. I'm just saying, you might want to connect with her. And I, too, am an ass kicker of change, actually known as the dominatrix of change. Yes, and you can connect with me at inspiredchoices.ca. And, if it's not Rhonda, if it's not myself, please reach out to someone that is willing to not buy your lies of shit, who is willing to hold the space, and who you can love and hate simultaneously to get the change that you desire. You can go to accessconsciousness.com. There are so many people all around the world that are using the tools that Rhonda and I speak of. Or maybe there's someone doing another modality that you get will be a contribution. Just make a choice, please.
Absolutely.
We are here to change the world, but it requires each of us to be making more choices. So what would it take for you right now to raise your hand and ask for some contribution from someone?
Okay, so with that, perfect timing, in the chat room, somebody says, what's coming up for me is that I have been looking at my shit for so long that I'm tired of it now. I would really just like to change it. This is how easy this is, people. So to the person in the chat room and anybody else who's in this boat or close to something like it, it goes like this. I'm done. I'm not going to fucking choose that anymore. Okay. Shit, now what?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Next step. I'm choosing this. It doesn't matter. I'm done with it. And every time it comes up again, no, I'm not choosing to row that boat again. I'm in another boat. I'm going in a different direction. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
That's what choice looks like in my universe.
And continue to make the demand. Literally, that's what my program, the Dominatrix program, is about. It's like, no, I'm not taking this. That's the old me. I'm changing it. And it may come up. It may come up for 6 months. It may come up for 3 years. I don't give a shit. I'm changing it. I am having the life that I desire. I'm having the joy. I'm having the laughter because I know that it is all possible. The choices that I have been making, continuously choosing into it and stepping into it and not stopping. Oh, I may take a rest. I may take a break. I may go in bed and pull the covers over my head and cry for a couple of days, but then I get back out of it. And I'm like, no, this is changing. Back the hell off. I'm changing this. Absolutely. If you continue to choose, whether it's a whisper in your bed or it's a scream on your front porch, doesn't matter. Just continue to choose. You will and are moving through it. But here's the thing. If you're no longer in your shit, you don't even know that you're no longer in your shit because you're no longer there.
Right. Amen.
Amen. I think I was a Baptist priest one day or a minister or whatever they are. Anyways, I thank you, Rhonda. You rock. I really appreciate you playing with me and being in the world with me. And thank you, everyone, to the listeners, to the chat roomers. You guys rock. Please come and join us again next week. We have live shows, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on A2Zen.fm, and your contribution makes a difference. Bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.